Hey guys, it's Skybird here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a combination model. This is a custom mock of mine, but we are going to be comparing it to an official combination model. So the build is this little guy right here. This is a combination of the Idris and Sarda Mari Matoran. It does not use the dark blue Metru Ruru, so I did want to keep this approachable for people who wanted to build this if they had these parts but didn't have that mask. And it is a small shorebird, which is what I have been calling it. Its direct comparison would be this guy right here, the Lava Hawk from 2006. And I think that these somewhat fill a similar niche. Obviously, they are both birds, but they are both combination models as well, with this being a combination of 3 Matoran, the Balta, Piruk, and Valika sets to make this guy here, whereas this is just a combination of 2 Matoran that came in a single set, the Karzani set. Outside of that, I do want to mention that that set does include Borak eyes in it as well, that you could use to replace the Mari Matoran or Mari eye stock in general. And it is something I would recommend if you don't like this aesthetic here. I just wanted to keep it true to just those 2 Matoran, but it's very likely that anybody who wants to build this that doesn't own that set very likely also has Borak eyes they can use as well, so just keep that in mind. They would be orange Borak eyes for this one here, or red if you want to use Karzani's, but I think the orange would make a lot more sense because those just come from the trap in that set, which is nobody's favorite part of that set. Outside of that, though, the build is fairly straightforward, but it does have some interesting things going on. I do want to mention in terms of posability, it is actually fairly limited. The legs do have 2 points of articulation with the hip up here as well as the ankle joint. And of course, with that, you have plenty of posability at the legs. The tail can also move a little bit, which is just the Huna here in red. And that's just to allow the legs to actually move back and forth and just kind of open up a little more posability for them. The neck is ball jointed at the base, but it is locked in place via 2 things: the Mari Matoran, or again Mari breathing tube piece here, as well as these Inika elliptical feet. That is actually going to prevent that neck from moving entirely at the base here. You could remove the Mari Matoran tube. You could probably change out those feet for any other type of axle-based foot, like the Metru foot, for example, would probably work pretty well here. And in that case, you would likely gain that bit of posability. But the reason I opted to lock that in place is because that socket is on a friction pin here. And so without those pieces there, then the friction pin would also move, so the neck would kind of wobble. Of course, there are fixes for that with your own pieces, but again, restricting myself just to the pieces from those 2 Matoran means that I did have to lock that neck in place. With that said, though, the head also can move at this ball joint up here and has plenty of posability. You can literally tuck it into itself. It's actually a very bird-like head in terms of the way that it can move around. It also has a bit of articulation around this axle here, since that axle is just grabbing onto a Borak tooth, so you can actually move it up quite far as well, basically giving you this double jointed neck. You could swap things around, move things around if you wanted to change up the shape of the head, like taking the beak here out and maybe moving this around and getting something closer to that to maybe reach forward a little bit, but I think that that looks a little goofy, but it is an option, and it's always good to know when you have more options, right? Also, I just totally put those eyes on upside down now. So anyway, really happy with the design of this guy, though. I think I just screwed up how the eyes were oriented. No big deal. But yeah, real happy with the design of it. And given how few unique parts there are with the Mari Matoran, I think it does an overall good job. So very happy with this build, very happy with both builds, really. The Lava Hawk is one that I often go back to and rebuild because I just think it's an excellent build for what it contains. And, there's not there's a lot you can do with it. given that the 2006 Matoran are fairly limited in what parts they use, especially when it comes to like pins and axles. And it's very clear that while Lego was designing these sets, that they were kind of designing it with a combination forward approach to it, right? Very clear in the choice of weapons that they use, the choice of connectors, where they included pins or axles, because this build here uses every single pin and every single axle from the three Voya Matoran, whatever you want to call them, 2006 Matoran, and excludes all of the brown pieces, interestingly enough. So very cool. I like this a lot. I like both sets here a lot, and it's nice to just have sort of a update to your bird collection, I guess, for these years. And I think a lot of people really admire the Mare Nui just saga in general, and so having more life forms in the ocean, it's not a place we got to explore all that much before 2007. So it really helps to just kind of fill out that world, and it's fun to have combination models that are good. 2007 is obviously known for the like Zyglak combination model that is also quite nice. So having another good combination model come from that year is fun, even if it's not official, right? So that's pretty much it for this video. I do want to mention that if you wanted to build this with like Dakar and Defilak, you definitely can. You just need to add some of your own pieces, because neither of those sets include the claws or this Mantax claw here. They don't include the Mari tube, and of course they don't have these Inika feet, of which it uses two different types, of course, both types. And there are a couple other little like pins and stuff that are in there as well. These connectors here used to route the tubes on the red and blue Mari Matoran. So yeah, have fun with it, enjoy. And I think it's a fun little thing just to have sitting on a shelf somewhere. Change it to whatever colors you want. The other nice thing about this too is that these pieces are available in a lot of colors. In fact, these arms, the Borak limbs, and both of these feet are available in orange, and there are definitely orange masks you could use. So you could recolor it to a brighter color if you wanted, which is relatively rare for later in Bionicle. And yeah, it's just fun to have those options. So that's pretty much it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, because it does help the channel out a lot. My links for my Discord, Instagram will be in the description below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.